whenever it feels safe and possible for you to do so, it's a good exercise to notice areas of your life that you perform in and that you aren't being yourself in. So we are so used to doing this that we don't realize exactly why we make the choices we do. We think that they're our own choices, but the motives, the reasons for why we do it, if we could see them more clearly, we probably would not choose them. Definitely dress choices is one small way. You might have an event that you are planning to go to. You might feel excited by the idea of wearing something outrageous or something boring. It doesn't really matter what. You know yourself what you would prefer to wear, and then you don't. You wear the safe thing, or you wear the normal thing, or you wear the outrageous thing rather than the safe thing, if that's persona that you're hiding behind, or that's the mask that you feel comfortable in amongst this group of people. Watch yourself during this process. So then you'll tell yourself, okay, I know that I want to wear the red dress, but XYZ, all of these things are going to happen according to my estimations. And then what? You'll probably feel something like, oh, and that's going to annoy me, that's going to stress me out. That's the goal there. Pay attention to that. So because these people are going to do this, or this is what's going to happen, and I'm going to be stressed out by this, so to avoid all of that, I'm going to do this thing which I don't really want to do. That's the mechanism. This is what you want to see play out within yourself in the smallest of ways. Now, I'm not even telling you that you have to wear the red dress. You could still wear the white dress. It's probably the best option for you at that time. Because until we make conscious the unconscious, we are not able to effectively meet ourselves and act in line with a truer version of ourselves, because we have not met the thought process. We have not met the capacity to withhold and withstand the new yet. Examine your own thought process, and then you will usually find that what's happening is that you're undermining yourself from acting out and behaving in and speaking up in line with the truest version of yourself, because you have learned that when you do so, things don't go well for you. And what's so tricky about this is that there's a lot of truth in that, and that is why we acquire these mechanisms to keep ourselves safe. And they do very well in the interim. However, if they are left in this state and they are not examined further, as I have suggested and laid out, it becomes a dead end rather than a diversion and an interim measure that has temporary benefit, because that's what they're useful for. It's useful for temporary benefit. It's not supposed to be the long-standing modus operandi of a person's life, to continuously foresee what could negatively impact them and then do something different. And it sounds crazy as I say that. But yes, it's a survival mechanism. It's not an optimization mechanism. And we should always have it, and we should always follow it in the interim, but not in the long term. It needs to be something that we use, and then we put a pin in it, and then we later go back. And in this example that I gave, one might later, after one goes to the event, one wears the white outfit. Good, that is fine. You kept yourself safe, stress-free, anxiety-free, you had a good time. You did not act in accordance with that which was most true to you, but that's fine. Now, after the fact, you go away and you consider the mechanism by which this occurred. And then you delve deeper into why and how. Why is it that if you wore the red dress and those people said the things to you that they said, Why would you feel stressed and strained by that? Would it be necessary for you to feel stressed and strained by that? Perhaps yes, perhaps no. And if yes, what does that indicate? And if no, what does that indicate? And there's a lot to be found there. There's a lot to be found there about what our increased capacity could be. Maybe hard questions about the people that we have around us. Maybe where did I get my beliefs from, and where am I just buying into whatever the social narrative is currently? Have I learned how to stand as an individual within myself? And again, all of this is for self-inquiry. This is for learning about oneself, learning and understanding better an area of oneself that is often so pervasive, that we've brought up with, that is socially conditioned, that is culturally imbued, that it becomes so natural to us to be so unnatural. And so my suggestion is that you look at this in many and small ways. You know, where do you look outside of yourself to assess what you want to do, and then you call that your own choice? And absolutely, I'm suggesting that you should do this in the most authentic way possible, not so that you can be kooky and weird and stand out from the crowd. That's just another mask. No, this is about what's me and what is the obligations that other people have put on me. I could talk about this so much. I'll save it for another video, as it's getting a bit long and the camera is going to probably cut off. But thank you so much. I hope that you will think about this and see that there's a lot of gold to be found here.